So it's 30 minutes after 7 here on the AM show. Time now for my banner. We're talking customer service. We're restricting our experiences in the banking hall. But just to let you know that the president is addressing the nation later this morning in Parliament, and we will bring you a live coverage of the State of the Nation address here on Joy News. Okay, so back to what is on the table this Thursday morning on my banner here on the AM show. We're talking customer service. My guest is one who knows all about the banking sector. She's a retired banker. She's written a book, but this is for another day. We're going to review this book all through and through. As a 21st century bank teller, a strategic partner. Her name is Alberta Kwakupom. She's CEO of Alcan Business Consult and then a retired banker. She's got lots of experiences. I tell you what we'll do. If you have any experience, whether positive or negative, in any of the banks, feel free. I'll open the phone lines. You can join me later on. Otherwise, you can just go to facebook.com/Joy News on TV and then post your comment, your experience there. We'll share it with everybody else. So I want to say good morning to you and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Can I start by you telling us what the job description of a customer service person in a bank would be?
Thank you. In a bank, generally we say every bank staff is a customer service personnel.
Okay.
Some are customer facing, some are not. But wherever you are, you have to be alive to your function. For example, let's look at a typical case of maybe a telephonist. She doesn't face customers, but her voice is the voice of the bank. Likewise, in the banking hall, where we are restricting our discussion to this morning, the customer service persons are customer-facing staff who are the front desk, who answer queries, inquiries made by the customers or clients who walk in. We have the tellers who have a direct relationship in terms of receiving or depositing, receiving or paying out cash to customers or clients. We also have relationship managers or sales managers who go out on the field. They are also all these people are the face of the bank.
Okay.
You also have those at the back who also have telephone discussions with clients or other staff members of the bank. So everybody in the bank is supposed to exhibit customer service at its best.
Okay. But with regards to those who interact with us, the clients or the customers, what would be the sort of qualification? Who is supposed to be there? Who would you usually say is a customer service executive?
Okay, a customer service executive, these days, in most banks, the minimum requirements is normally the tertiary level education.
Okay.
And you have to be analytical, broad-minded, and you have to be pleasant and ready to face customers. Because if you don't, you are not a sociable person and you are not somebody who likes interacting with other people. Obviously, you will find it a bit of a chore and you would not respond accordingly. So there are certain basic attributes of a customer service. The qualification is normally a tertiary institution level.
If I walk into a banking hall, either as a client, a would-be, or as a visitor, what should be the reception?
I would say it should be warm. We train our front desk persons, whoever the person is, to receive the customer with a smile. And the first thing is the greeting. Hello, how may I help you? These are basic requirements of every front desk person.
Are they saying it because they're willing to say it, or they're saying it because they've been told to say it, so they don't necessarily believe in it, but they just have to say it?
I immediately started by saying that you must have the love for the job. Like Steve Jobs says, you have to love what you are doing, and then you can exhibit it professionally. So, and as they come in, we also train them to gradually, we instill these attributes in them. You can have it as a natural talent, or you are trained to acquire it. And whether you like it or not, the customer is there for you to serve. And if you are the ambassador, you have to exhibit it.
The truth, though, is that we don't always feel that we're being served. It's as if they're doing us a favor. Right. Because feedback is bad. It's bad. Why is that so?
I must agree with you that sometimes we have bad feedback from customers, and we even prefer customers who give us the feedback, because some customers are silent walk away customers. They never come back, and we appreciate it. And I believe the whole thing is about training and learning and training these people on the job, and even before they get on the desk itself. And some people are actually rushed into the job because they are needed, and that is one of the basic mistakes we make as bankers. We have to look at the attributes and see whether the person actually can exhibit those qualities. And I must admit, sometimes some front desk personnel are not professional.
Are they paid well, though? I mean, from your experience?
Generally, banking staff are paid well. Well, reasonably. I would say reasonably well.
Okay.
Because of the long hours, sometimes can be a bit stressful, closing late and everything, and that is normally should be compensated with not just the pay, but there are other conditions that makes you
a bit comfortable.
Comfortable.
Okay.
I think that's the word.
Okay. Because sometimes, I mean, we all get frustrated, you know, once in a while.
Exactly.
But you don't have to let it show when you're working.
Exactly.
Even when you are broke.
Exactly.
Because you decided to accept the job.
Exactly.
And so the responsibility is on you. But if I go into a bank and I feel that a client service person has not spoken to me well, it's been rude, what do I do?
Okay. There are various options. There is a software that is obviously neutral, and you can plug in and just log your feedback.
Does it work? Do you people go back to check?
Normally, these things are checked from the head office, the service quality department.
Oh, so they really check it?
They really check and look.
I have never used it because I'm always
Please use it. Use the online feedback, because, you know, it says that when one person puts something online, about 10 people, more than 10 people would see it. And these days, customer-facing staff or customer service staff are required to be up and doing, because radio stations online, because of technology, you can easily be put on the carpet.
I don't wait to do it on TV or
and you
on
can
radio.
also go
I do it right there in the banking hall.
Exactly. And then you have all the right to ask for the supervisor. You may not necessarily you can't tell the person. You have the right to tell the person that I did not like the way you responded to to the transaction. And it is the first thing I would always advise a customer to do. It is not a confrontation, but good feedback. And some of these front desk people may not be aware that that's what they are doing, obviously because of the lack of adequate training. But these things put them on their toes, and they know that they can easily report it to by the customers to their supervisor. So you have every right to get it solved right there, and not even wait to input on the software or do the customer service feedback forms. You have every right.
When we report, do the supervisors, the managers take it serious?
Yes. In modern day banking, the bankers go out. They go to the customers. It's not like the old traditional banking where you sit down for the customer to come. These days, the competition is, I would say, fierce, because one man's meat is another man's poison. And the next thing you know, your customer is out there. And you find your customer checks now floating from a different bank, and you wonder, what did I do? And these days, we look at the dormant account status of customers, and then we use the front desk people to help trace them and ask, why did you leave? Sometimes it's because of a bad customer service, which the silent killers would not tell. So I will encourage everybody to quickly alert whoever, the manager, the supervisor, that this is what I've seen, it's not good enough. And we welcome these things.
Okay. Let's touch on an area that gets a lot of clients to sign on to a bank, and which is loans, getting resources from the banks.
Okay.
Client service executives would always tell you all the nice things about how it will be easy to get the loan, how we would deduct so and so amount every month, but they don't tell you, for instance, that that figure may not stay the same. It's not fixed. It might go up. Or sometimes it's more like they're rushing the loan on you, and because you also need the money, and they tell you, oh, we can do it in less than 24 hours, then you're also quick to sign onto it. If a customer service person has not given me the full detail of the products that I'm signing onto, what can I do? Because sometimes after you've signed onto it and that deal has gone through, you can't do anything.
Yeah, what I would say is that every loan applicant should be aware, not rush into accepting a deal. And I would call such a thing mis-selling. And that is also not ethical in the banking profession. You have to be able to tell the customer the pros about the product and a few areas in case of default, or I think you have to use the calculator to let the person know that, okay, this is the amount that you'll be paying, this is the interest, these are the terms and conditions. Please, today I'll urge all loan applicants, before they sign any loan, to read the terms and conditions. Sometimes it's in small print, as we say, but it is better to take about 15 minutes to really let the loan officer explain very well to you, because otherwise it will be called mis-selling, and then you have every right to now report. But of course, it's going to go back to the same bank, and they'll say, didn't you read?
Yeah, because,
so I think the best thing is just hold it, because you are going to pay. Hold it, read the terms and conditions, seek explanation. Don't be afraid of asking. It is your right, because you are going to pay in the long run.
I have a feeling that the banks won't do anything for you for free. Is it true? You know, it's almost like there's something to it. When they're being so nice, I'm suspicious.
I believe that these days banking is, we concentrate more on relationship banking and not transactional banking. Transactional banking is where you just one-off, you meet your target and off you go. These days, it is banking for life. I personally call it the financial marriage, because you have to explain, like I do in marriage, the terms and conditions of the marriage, financial marriage, and we have to explain everything to the customer. Sometimes we are able to be quite flexible depending on the type of transaction, and that is where the customer service or the loan officer should be able to put it in writing that this is a peculiar transaction. Can we do something about it? And then it is sent up to the management for them to do something about it. We actually sometimes do certain things on a discretionary way. It's not fixed, depending on the kind of transaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I did encourage you to go to facebook.com/Joy News on TV. And yes, I am getting feedback. Our posted is there. How will you rate the customer service at your bank? What did the teller do right or wrong? And why do you still go to that bank? This first comment, and I cannot mention the name of the bank, but I can tell you where it is in Kisiman. It will be a bit confusing because I know that there are two banks, but it's one of the two. And Xavier Picard Agbanyaga is saying that very poor, in fact, fail chatting while serving a customer. That thing is irritating.
Chatting
while serving a customer.
Chatting with somebody else?
Yes, in the same bank.
Somebody,
and I've experienced it. And Xavier, I've experienced it in the same bank that you're talking about. I almost left. I was paying into somebody's accounts. That was the only reason I had to stay.
Okay.
And you find that they're a bit old and they're chatting, you know, and you're looking at them with that kind of eye.
Amongst themselves.
Exactly. Person is serving you and still chatting with someone.
I would say that when a teller or a front desk person is serving a customer, it is one person at a time. we keep on saying serve one customer at a time. If there is a reason, for professional reasons, where you have to seek some clarification, among tellers, there may be times that a customer would demand a particular denomination, and therefore you can excuse yourself. I'll be with you in a moment. I'm trying to get the denomination you want. And then you collect that from another teller or from your supervisor, ideally, and then you serve the customer. But serving customer whilst chatting, it's a no-no. It's unprofessional. And these are some of the things that I write about and train people about.
But when you experience something like that, what do you do? I mean, do you tell the person in the face that you can't be talking to someone while serving me? Sometimes it could be like back and forth. It could be, you know, like some sort of an exchange in the bank, which may not be pleasant. So what do you do? Okay.
I think a customer has all the rights because, as I said, we serve one customer. During that 5 minutes that you are serving the customer is key. You should excuse yourself when you have to do something, and it is something related to the transaction of the customer. So that you have to tell the customer and the teller or whoever that, why are you distracting? You are wasting my time. Please try to avoid that if you want to retain your customers. There are customer feedback forms. There's a suggestion box that these days banks are really up and doing. In the olden days, it used to be wood, where you can't even see what's in. Now it's glass. And there shouldn't be any period where there's a piece of paper in it and not being taken. Because these things are little reminders to the manager or the customer service manager that this is what somebody has said. Quietly drop something in it and move on. If you have time, just go to the manager. And shouldn't be a confrontational thing. And once you log it to that teller, she becomes aware. Then you can drop a little note in the suggestion box. That's where the service quality people are now on. If the feed software is also available in your bank, just log on and send it. Because that goes straight to head office and is monitored. And they do a trend analysis of the kinds of feedback that they are getting according to the branch. Because some customers may have problems with the ATM service or with a particular teller, and that is where management takes up. Because the service quality people are with management and they have to be up and doing. So it's a kind of mystery shopping at the back.